Hello everybody and welcome back to today's video of DIY investing. I hope everybody's having an awesome day today. I wanted to give you guys a quick update with Bitcoin and Ethereum because we're at a very decisive point in the market. I wanted to branch off of my earlier updates about bullish and bearish because I see both perspectives and I just wanted to be able to share with you guys my analysis on what I'm expecting moving forward. If you guys like my videos and want to see more of them, do myself a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing for more updates in the future. If you guys like my analysis and want to see more of that, do yourself a favor by clicking the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to all of my Discord. On my Discord server, I have my own private analysis. I also have a ton of members in there conversating and sharing their own ideas. With this market that's picking up, it's honestly really fun and it's cool to see all of this newcomers come into this market and really just learn and educate. I really have a lot of fun putting it on for you guys, and so I'm always open to new members joining. In fact, I look forward to seeing you guys coming in there. So with all that being said, let's jump right in the video today. Welcome back everybody to today's video. Now for today, I figured that it was important that I give you guys a quick little update with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are two obvious drivers of the market, and so for Ethereum, that's like the real driver of the altcoin market, and then Bitcoin is the driver of everything. And so I figured I'd give you guys a quick little update with kind of some things that I'm seeing currently. Because we are at a very decisive point with Bitcoin. Right now, I'm kind of on the fence between bullish and bearish because I see both perspectives. But we are going to get that confirmation very soon. And so I figured I'd make this video to give you guys a little bit of an update with some different perspectives that I'm looking at currently, just so that you guys aren't completely left in the dark with what to expect moving forward. Now, I know I just made a bullish update and a bearish update. I just wanted to kind of add to both of those videos. Now, kind of what I'm seeing here with Bitcoin, and this is really important as far as watching these trends and these parabolic trend advances, because we're going to throw it back here after I kind of show you guys what I'm talking about with this, and I'm going to show you this same setup that played out at the start of the bear market, and this is why I'm kind of applying it to what we're currently seeing now. So when you have an uptrend, right? When a coin starts going parabolic, you have this nice parabolic advance that's formed. And this is where you have this trend line that steadily just gets more and more parabolic the higher that you go up. Let's go. The higher that you go up, the steeper that this trend gets, right? And so this really just brings me to the current point, is the fact that we've had this linear parabolic trend that we've been riding on. Now, with the initial sell-off that saw us go from 8,400 down to about 64, and some exchanges it's a little bit different. I think it went to like 63 and even down to 6,200, or it went from like 83 down to 62 on different exchanges like Bitstamp, and so it's a little bit different for every exchange, but it doesn't really matter because it's the same story being told. Now, I remember watching the initial rally up from Bitcoin when we went from lows of about, $300-400 and went all the way up to just under 20K at its peak. And we did this exact same trend. We had this linear trend that got more and more parabolic and more steep the higher that we went, until when we finally broke from that is when we started the bear market. So that kind of takes me to the current point that we're at right now. Right now, I believe that we're at this decisive point with Bitcoin, whether we're really going to decide if we're going to break out of this high that we saw at about 83 to 8,400, or if we're going to actually start going lower in the cycle, which is all possible at this point. We're really, like I said, at that deciding point where we're going to figure out one way or another which way we're going to go. And so I wanted to give you guys a quick little update with this specific linear trend that I'm watching. We have broken from that, right? If we zoom in here, we broke through that with this initial sell-off, and we're currently consolidating outside of this parabolic channel. So what I'm watching for currently is if we're going to actually be able to see Bitcoin maintain this parabolic trend. Maybe this is just a fluke and we're about to go higher, but for the most part, a lot of the times when you follow these linear trends and they get broken, oftentimes that's the first signal that we're about to start correcting. And so right now what we're currently seeing could just be consolidation before we have further bearish continuation. Now, really the big reason why I wanted to bring this up is because the fact if we go back to olden times with Bitcoin before the initial bear market, we're going to be able to go back and see the exact same thing that kind of played out with Bitcoin. Let's get it off the log chart. We had this same little parabolic channel, or what I should say, trend, and that held us for the length of the bear market, right? We had this parabolic channel, and you can even draw all the way back down to here if you really felt the need, but we're going to keep it simple for this because it follows the same principle that I'm trying to look for right now. We had this parabolic trend, right? Things kept getting more and more parabolic, and what happens was we had a bounce off of this once, twice, 3 times, and then we came down, retested it for the 4th time, only to sell through, and then right here, this is where we got rejected, was right here. This is where we fell out of that parabolic channel, or where we fell out of this parabolic trend, and then that's when we really started the bear market. And so I'm watching for the same setup playing out. And I remember when I made my bearish update for Bitcoin, detailing this recent move, I was thinking of this and I was explaining this exact setup in my head when I was teaching it to you guys, because of the fact I remember we had that massive sell-off, we had these big wicks that came down, and that was really the start of the bear market. And so I'm wondering if we're in that exact same setup where we're currently in complacency, where everybody's just expecting it to go up again because we've had a bunch of different higher highs in the cycle, when in actuality this is really just the first bear trap before we drop significantly lower and have to go revisit further support levels. And so I'm kind of watching for this exact same thing to play out. I don't know if it's going to quite yet. Really my biggest reasons for being bullish in this time are, you've got a couple factors. I mean, you've got this ascending triangle is one factor to look at. You've got so you've got this ascending triangle. This is one factor that I'm watching for. You have another factor, as in we've bounced off of the supply zone once, twice, 3 times, and now we're basically acting there for a 4th time. Not quite hitting that same resistance level, but for the most part we're right there again. The more times that price stabs at a supply zone, or even a support zone for that matter, but this time we're acting on the supply, so this is the resistance. The more times that price reacts to a given level, the weaker that level gets. And that's exactly what we're seeing right here. It's very possible that we can continue to up and make another leg up in the cycle. It's very possible that that's the case. But for right now, it's really important to just know that it can go either way at this point, because we've had a very strong impulse up from these lows that we saw down in here. The parabolic trend has just only gotten steeper and steeper until we had this final really strong impulse. Then we did break from that parabolic trend. And so I just wanted to point these things out, guys. Now is a time where you don't really want to be taking a lot of heavy positions into Bitcoin. If you're margin trading, make sure that you have a plan in place and a stop loss and all of those good things, because this thing could really turn on you very quickly if you're not careful and you don't know what to expect with things kind of moving forward. Now, based off of this, it looks like we could be seeing something of an A, B, C, D, E correction. And then from here, we could go higher. It's just something we have to watch out for, because it's hard to say exactly what may or may not happen in this time. Right now, this is definitely looking more like an ascending triangle. I didn't really want to call that out in one of my previous videos, just because of the fact I wanted to see if we could actually bounce up. And in fact, we continue to kind of paint this little picture of an ascending triangle. So I am watching this pattern now. I'm going to see if this plays out accordingly. But for the most part, we just have to watch and see exactly what's going to happen. We continue to hit resistance. We make higher highs as far as just this trend goes. And so this overall still looks bullish. Like, the bull case is still intact. There's really no reason to bet against the major trend that's formed up to this point. But I wanted to give you guys a little update with what I'm seeing as far as a bearish perspective goes. We have broken from that parabolic advance. And so oftentimes that's always a first signal that this could be before further bearish continuation to come. But this is just kind of what I'm going to have to watch and see and update you guys as follows. I just want to make sure that everybody understands the kind of the options that I'm weighing personally inside of my head, and I feel like everybody should be thinking the same too, because even with this move, we have gone very parabolic. We have busted through this major resistance at 6K, and we continue to go up. And so you got to keep in mind, guys, there still is a lot of resistance through here, and this can't just continue to go up forever. Whether we make another leg up in the cycle or whether we start retracing right now, we are coming close to that point. And so now is not really the time to be taking a lot of positions. Now is the time to be taking those profits, locking some away into Tether, and just kind of sitting on that as follows. So next we're going to be taking a look at Ethereum, because Ethereum is following Bitcoin, and Ethereum really is what leads the altcoins, and so it's important to see both sides. Now kind of what I'm seeing with Ethereum is just a little bit different from Bitcoin, but not much. This looks to be more of a symmetrical triangle pattern, and so the thing about a symmetrical triangle and an ascending triangle is the fact that the symmetrical one is a 50-50. It can really go both bullish and bearish, whereas an ascending triangle, I think it has about like a 60 or 70% chance of breaking bullish. So as far as Bitcoin goes, Bitcoin is showing a more of a bullish setup, whereas Ethereum's more indecisive in its move. But it doesn't really change the fact they're both following kind of the same sort of correction. I'm looking this as an A, B, C, D, E. And we're currently hitting resistance. Looks like we're getting rejected pretty strongly off of this resistance. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we start falling and have to fall back down to this lower trend line. But overall, it's pretty much the same exact setup as Bitcoin. We gotta have to watch and see exactly what this consolidation is gonna bring. Currently, with the current market, with Bitcoin being so parabolic, you always have to understand that there's definitely a lot more risk involved with taking positions right here compared to if you were accumulating down here or even right here in 5K. Right now is that time where, with Bitcoin consolidating, a lot of these alts are going to be pointing to a little bit of an indecision move where they're kind of going to show that they can go bearish, where at the same time they look like they could go bullish. And so it really just depends on what the hell Bitcoin's going to do. How are we going to consolidate inside of that market, and really what's it going to do to the rest of these altcoins? Because there's, like I said, guys, it's very possible we can go up for another leg in the cycle. Really, this move right here was the first time we've gone parabolic, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to go higher. But like I said before, I just really wanted to point out the fact that we are at that decisive point. We really need Bitcoin to figure out which way it's going to move very soon, because right now it looks like we are getting a little bit of a rejection from this resistance. It's possible that we come back up a little higher, but for the most part, I think that we're going to see a little bit further of a sell-off. And where that sell-off is going to take us, I think that it's possible that we could bounce all the way down here, this lower trend. I would like to see us hold support a little bit higher, though. I'd like to see something like this before going higher and breaking out. Something to note about ascending triangles is the more that they coil inside of the triangle, the less probable and the weaker that pattern of playing out actually is. And so you don't really want to see it consolidating a lot in this triangle, because it's possible that it could fall out. You really want to see a lot of bullish strength and have prices break out fairly quickly. And so this is what I'm going to be watching out for. The closer that we start dropping to this trend line, the more concerned I'm going to be, as far as just the fact that this thing is coiling quite a bit in this triangle. And not only that, but it's possible that we could break out of this and fall entirely. It doesn't have to play out because it's a bullish setup. We've seen this in the past. We can definitely see it happen again in the future. So I really just wanted to point out with Bitcoin kind of what I'm seeing there, and with Ethereum, very similar setups overall. Not much has changed. I just wanted to quickly give you guys this update to share my thoughts and what I'm expecting moving forward. It's hard to say. This is all just indecision. We're going to have to watch and see the consolidation that Bitcoin gives us, because that's really what's going to point in the direction of what way Ethereum is going to move as well. So thank you all so much for watching this update. I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.